up there on the screen until every girl can play. This is such an important partnership to be launched today here at the MCG. This partnership is about delivering crucial work around gender equality. We've got a group of young children up in the stand today who are going to be out here on the cricket field. What's amazing is that every one of those young children has the opportunity to play equally sport cricket in Australia. Cricket Australia has come such a long way on its gender equity journey. But sadly, that opportunity doesn't exist in so many parts of the world today. There are so many children, particularly girls, who are denied their basic rights. They don't have the right to finish high school, for university, often even preschool, the right for medical and health care, the right even to participate in some countries in sport, let alone feel a sense of equality and equity in society. I can't thank UNICEF team and the Cricket Australia team for coming together and bringing this partnership together. We really want to make a difference to make sure that every girl, wherever she is in the world, can participate and play. Cricket Australia, you're one of the leading brands in this country, but also globally. The brand Cricket Australia means so much, and it carries so much more than the game itself. And it means so much more to viewers around the world. You've done incredible things around breast cancer and health partnerships. This is taking it to another level to ensure that we can all participate wherever we are in the world. It saddens me to say that twice as many girls in the world are missing out on education. Even in Southeast Asia, where we have so many cricket nations, 2/3 of girls do not complete secondary education. Just focusing on this, focusing on countries, communities and governments, helping the cricket community globally recognise the importance of gender equity as a stepping stone to gender equality, will create that participation. The partnership's very powerful statement, "Until every girl can play," really means a lot to those girls around the world. And I can't thank Cricket Australia enough for stepping up to the crease on such an important partnership. I can't wait to see the stadium full, cheering our Australian women's team on this summer. It's really exciting about the day-night first test being as part of this partnership here. And it will help UNICEF, who make such a difference to the lives of children around the world. We can only do this when we have supporters such as Cricket Australia. Thank you again, Cricket Australia and Nick and the team, for stepping up to the crease on such an important partnership. And I'd like to now hand over to Shelley to take questions. As you know, Shelley is the women's head coach, and we'll take some questions about the event itself. Thank you very much, Tony.
Thanks, Tony. Shelley, do you know how the appeal is going to work during the women's test?
Yeah, well, I think every time there's an appeal, there's money donated to the appeal. So going on the last couple of tests we've played, there's been quite a few appeals, so I'm sure that will continue for the next test.
Which of the players is most likely to sort of round up the appeals, just have a bit over the top, just to make sure that the money gets paid?
Oh, look, because she's present today, I think Kim Garth will be, she has the ability to wrap the pads and then go in front of the and sort of see her here today to give her a
two tests every year. It must be pleasing to see more nations coming online. Test career like this.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Like I said, the FTP coming out with so many opportunities to play now, and getting more tests to play, I think is really good. The players love them, and it's great to see that we've got that test coming up against the West Indies in multi-format series. So the multi-format series is really starting to take off, and it's great to be able to expand and play different formats.
How thrilled are you as a group to be able to play the test match?
Yeah, look, it's super exciting for us. I think to play the first big World Test match at the MCG. It's the 90th anniversary of the first Test between Australia and England, and now fantastic partnership with UNICEF as well. I think everyone's really keen to get out here and into that Test match. It's going to be a great moment, I think, for the game.
Just on the FTP, any concerns about losing the Jan-Feb period for home internationals for Australians when given the WP obviously now taking that space? Or is this part of the reality?
Yeah, look, I think it's part of the reality. We feel like there's still enough opportunities to get some good series at home. We're sort of that February-March period now. We're sort of playing as a time when we can play some really nice fixtures. So that's part of the reality. The WPL's come over this landscape now. So I guess we'll work around that, and I think we've still got some really exciting home series to play inside Christmas.
All right, we might hand over to Tony for questions and then Tony, just how important is this partnership with Australia?
This is such an important partnership. It's an iconic partnership. The game is much bigger than Cricket Australia. It's a global game, and to have this alliance together, putting a spotlight on an issue which is such an important issue. I remember growing up, my sisters weren't allowed to play cricket. It was a men's game. What the significant changes we've seen in Australia, and now we're in a situation where Cricket Australia can shine a torch to the world about the importance of gender equity, ensuring that every girl has a full right not just to participate in sport, but to participate equally in life.
Tony, the most prominent example of this phenomenon at the moment, unfortunately, is Afghanistan and the women's cricketers there not being education not being allowed. Where do you sit on should Australia be playing Afghanistan in cricket at all? I know at the moment they don't play bilateral series. Should they be playing World Cups?
Well, look, I keep out of the politics of this because what has made UNICEF, I think, good at what it does is it works with every country, 200 countries in the world, and to do that you have to be neutral. We are the Red Cross of England, and what we do encourage wherever we are in the world is participation. We will continue to encourage that in Afghanistan. And I have to say, living in Australia, I'm so pleased to see so many of the Afghan women here in Australia, and I hope in the future they get the opportunity in some way to participate in the game.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'll hand over to Dick.
I guess this partnership does sort of really big spotlight on the Afghanistan women's team. A lot of the members are still in Australia, and they're previously called for Australia to help them setting up competition. And I know you kind of wedged with the ICC's policy on it. Is there anything you try to do for that group of players this summer?
I think certainly over the last 3 years they've been extremely well supported by really every level of the cricketing community, from kind of clubs, state associations. We've certainly sought support in the background. I've had the kind of real privilege to meet and spend some time with the players, and certainly we are working behind the scenes on ways we can continue to support.
Just on other cricket matters, Nick, what did you make of the crowd and everything that was involved with the one-day series with Pakistan?
Yeah, it's, really pleased and encouraged with the crowd. I think on day one, or the first ODI, we had the highest attendance at an ODI in November at the MCG we've ever had. I mean, obviously, extremely disappointing to lose the series after being up 1-0. I think got to give huge credit to a really spirited Pakistan team, and I think what you would have seen is just the level of support and passion from fans that are living here in Australia, and I think we can expect that on another level in the T20 series coming up this week, and then I think we can see that again at another level during the upcoming Test series.
It did raise some questions about the future of perhaps bilateral series. Do you have concerns for that?
I think it's really, firstly, I think, and I've said previously many times, I think that all three formats have a really important role to play in the game, and I feel what's really important is each of the series have context and meaning. So certainly a big advocate for going forward for series to make sure they count for qualification for World Cups, and we've made our position very clear on those in the ICC. But look, this was a critical series as well, in our preparation for the Champions Trophy coming up, which is now 3 months away. So, again, really disappointing result, and I know that the squad's very motivated to make amends during the T20 series.
But the future of bilateral one-day series, is it still strong, because there were a lot of the best players being rested for Test matches in weeks' time? Is it still a priority? Is it still strong?
Oh, it's absolutely a priority. I mean, I think certainly, I think you saw the disappointment on Josh Inglis's face after the third Test. We go out to win every game and every series. I think the reality of the Australian setup is we're fortunate to have probably more all-format players than any other country, and we've also our all-format players are just the best in the world, and they're generational talents. We often we have been criticised in the past for not giving kind of new players an opportunity to come in. So I think there was a plan in place, and that plan was really to make sure that our all-format players were absolutely peak condition for the upcoming Border Gavaskar series. We think back to the last time India were here, that series went down to the last session of the last Test match. So coming up, we've got this time it's 5 Test matches as opposed to 4, and then we're straight into an away series in Sri Lanka, and then straight into a Champions Trophy. So look, this was obviously a massively disappointing result, but I think a really good opportunity to expose some of the talent that's coming through to the pressures of international cricket. And on this occasion, I think they were found wanting by a very competitive and spirited Pakistan team.
You've cleared out January for the Big Bash, understandably. So 12 months' time, India coming from 3 ODIs and 5 T20s ahead of the Ashes. Should we expect a similar policy of the best players sitting out significant chunks of those games to lead up to the Ashes?
I think it's a balance. I mean, everything's a balance. We have specialists in formats, and we also have all format players. Next summer is massive on the Test front with the Ashes, so I think it will be a balance. But I think to expect every all format player to play every game in all format, I think that's not something you see in other squads and teams around the world. And I think it's something that you won't see in Australia. But absolutely, every time we take the field, we want to put out the best players. We think we've got great depth in white ball cricket. We've got some incredibly exciting talent coming through, the likes of Jake Fraser-McClure, Cooper Connolly. I think it was the third Test was also an opportunity for 5 Western Australian players who've just been knocking on the door for selection for a long time. And then we also had a unique situation where Krabs just had a baby on Friday, and Mitch Marsh is expecting, the Marsh family are expecting. So so I think there'll always be those factors, and I think it's a balance. But I can say the level of disappointment is very high, and every time the team takes the field, we desperately want to win.
Would you consider starting some of the white ball content in Perth so the players make more, different place to stay on the SEC board for white ball content?
Yeah, I think we'll have a look at that. I think what this schedule is called, it's really shone a spotlight on, is that the travel schedule into such a big series is critical. And again, this is about thinking ahead and getting players through best possible conditions. As we look to the schedule for next year, we'll get right into the detail to make sure that the travel schedule is optimised so we can have continue to put our best possible 11 on the field.
So already changing the schedule for next year is high on the priority list?
So we've announced the Ashes dates. We haven't yet announced the dates for the India White Ball Series. That's in the works, and we'll be making some announcements about those in due course.
Do you have a conversation with the Hockley team about what is?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a scheduling working group. We have representatives from High Performance. We have representatives from our broadcast team. We have representatives of the teams that work with the venues. It really you have to take a balanced view on all factors. The primary reason why the travel schedule is tough is because we want as many fans around the country to see international cricket. So that won't change.
Just to clarify, just quickly to clarify, it was a Cricket Australia decision for those Test players to be rested, or is that more of a high?
Yeah, that's the national selection panel. They select the sides, for the squads for the series, and then the 11 that take the field for every game. So, I think this was a kind of a. I mean, there are some factors, but certainly in terms of the Test players that have we want to get them through what is effectively 7 Test matches, kind of back to back, and then for the all-format players into the Champions Trophy. It fell on this occasion. It was in the best interest of the overall priorities for the summer that they miss out on the 3rd ODI. But again, a fantastic opportunity to expose a broader group of players to international cricket, which, as we've seen, it's extremely competitive. I mean, Pakistan in Test matches just beat England. New Zealand have beat India away, which just shows quite how competitive the international cricket is.
So it's not necessarily player driven or anything like that. It's purely just.
It's absolutely it's the selectors, and the amount of planning and work that goes into squad selection and preparation across 3 formats is it is incredible in the detail they go to. So but as I say, just very, very obviously very disappointed to lose a series at home, having been 1-0 up, and I know that's added motivation for the next cricket coming up.
Just in terms of Pakistan, it's not, I suppose, a CA issue per se, but it's in the past with the Champions Trophy between Pakistan and India. Do you have a view there? I mean, you played such a leading role in getting Australia to Pakistan a few years ago. Would you like to see India play in Pakistan?
So I think that's for others. We're just waiting for updates from the ICC and eagerly waiting to see where the schedule lands.
If the meaningful bilateral ODI or white ball series, it seems like the World Cup qualification cycle changes every cycle. What has the reception been like from the ICC providing something like a Super League concept?
I mean, look, I think it's a fine balance. It's a fine balance between wanting to make sure that there's a really great qualification structure, but also giving as many countries as possible a chance to play. I mean, my view, which is kind of well known to the ICC, and I've spoken publicly on before, is that T20 is the format to give a broad range of countries an opportunity, and then with the Olympics as the pinnacle, and the 50-over version of the game, we need to keep that reasonably tight. And ensure that much like soccer does for their World Cup, make sure that the bilateral series and the lead-in all count towards qualification. So we'll continue to advocate that.
Ireland women coming in the next women's FTP, could you see Australia be happy to host someone like Ireland or the Netherlands in men's ODI?
Though I think we'd be certainly keen to explore that and ultimately, I think hopefully what the last few years have demonstrated is that we're really keen to see cricket thrive all around the world. It's a core part of our strategy. I think we were disappointed not to be able to tour to Ireland just now, but we were able to go to Scotland for an ODI series. So As we've discussed, the home summer is really quite busy, but you know, I'm sure that that's something that will be continue to be on the you know, to be discussed as we go forward.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Thanks.
We're going to move into photos and vision, and then we'll do some interviews with Meg and Kim after that.
Thanks for coming down, everyone. Really appreciate it.